I'll just leave that out there.
There's just so many elements to this game. We haven't even gotten to it. Like Debo, well, they get a punt blocked, and Wisnowski, instead of just falling on the ball, it's only going to be a couple yard difference. He made a total business decision, and I'm not going to drop on that ball. I'm good off that. Not that it was going to change Minnesota getting the ball, but that was a beautifully blown blocked. I don't know what they were doing up front. The guy just went right by Robert Beal Jr. And then Cowing muffs a punt. And in between that, Debo is returning kicks, by the way. Not sure if you're paying attention, folks. And he stopped at the 17-yard line. All right, gets stuffed. It looks like, does he get rolled up? No, there's a flag on the play. Let's go back to the 10. Special teams had a horrific day yesterday.
Oh, special teams was awful. It was god-awful. Getting off the field on third down, awful. Down the distance, awful. 2 of 10 for the 49ers on third down, awful. The red zone woes. Moody did kick 6 field goals against the New York Jets. Yesterday in the red zone, they had their struggles.
Can I ask you this question?
Sure.
You and I both think that Brandon Aiyuk's very good, right? Is he Justin Jefferson? Clearly not. No, I don't think many people were saying that, though, so let's be fair here. He's a very good player. You just invested $30 million into him, right? And we can argue about whether that's even appropriate on this team because they're a run-first team. How does a guy who we talked all offseason about get his second target with 5:55 to go in the third quarter?
It's kind of wild.
How are you not getting this guy involved? Now, I'll listen to he's just not up to speed and blah, 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 blah. That's a game you needed playmakers to go out there and make plays. Head coach, let's go. Let's dial something up for this guy. He's making $30 million. We spent all offseason talking about Brandon Aiyuk. Come game time, Kyle Juszczyk is getting targets 2-1. How does that happen?
Well, he was going to Debo a lot yesterday. It felt like the man featured. And then Juwan Jennings made some big plays there in the pass game as well. But Aiyuk, I'm not sure if I looked at the first play of the game. He got jabbed so hard off the line of scrimmage. I don't see the same swagger. Maybe it's the haircut. I don't like the fact that he cut the dreads. He went to the braids now, so he cut it down a little bit.
It's not the haircut.
I know it's not the haircut, Shask. I'm just throwing it out there. Relax. But I don't know. That's a good question for Baldy. So watch it back. I was just like, all right, maybe that was just part of the game plan. But they got to get him rolling. There's no doubt about that. But one thing is, they missed McCaffrey, and that's something we're going to talk about here all throughout the week. He's on IR, folks, and I don't believe he's missing 4 games. Again, last week I mentioned that it will be, in my mind, here's how Vontae Hill is rolling for the rest of the year. In my mind, whatever they get from Christian McCaffrey is an absolute bonus. I'm not expecting nothing from 23 because I have questions. Is it just the Achilles? Is it the calf? Is he overcompensating for the Achilles? Is there another? What's going on here? Is there more to the equation with Christian McCaffrey? So McCaffrey not being involved in the pass game, now you're missing that running back out of the backfield that all these teams have. All these good teams have a back out of the backfield where they can check it down to get you in 3rd and 1 situations, 3rd and 2 situations, and they're going to miss that. Is there somebody on the street they can sign who can replenish that? Is Kareem Hunt ready to roll? I don't know. But you're missing Christian McCaffrey in the passing game.
But I hear you on that. But you have enough playmakers on this team to be able to move the ball properly. Like that, I look at if they
moved the ball yesterday. They moved the ball at times.
Situationally, I thought they were behind the sticks all day.
They were behind the sticks all day.
They were behind the sticks all day, and they didn't pass protect well. And so Purdy was running for his life. There were 3 different occasions where Purdy had to look down because the rush is coming and climb the pocket, and he rushed a throw, which I'm not even mad at Purdy. We could talk about other passes that he's missed. That's fine. I thought it was an okay game from Brock Purdy. He actually made an unbelievable throw to George Kittle over the middle. Yeah. He made a couple of really nice throws, and Debo made some great, contorted, twisting catches in traffic. But you have to give that man time to throw the ball as well. And I thought that he was under duress all game. They were sending 5 when the Niners were ready for 4. They did a really good job staying ahead of them.
Well, they confused Brock Purdy a lot yesterday.
And then he made a couple of scramble plays and throws to Juice and throws to Debo on the sideline that were like, wow, those are nice plays. But to me, it's like when you have Kittle and you have Debo and you have Aiyuk, I'll hear you on Christian in the passing game. There's no doubt. But you ran the ball 12 for 72 in the first half, and you still have 3 really, really, really good pass targets. I'm sorry, you got to score more than 17 points.
No, I agree. There's no doubt about that. It's no doubt about that. 888-957-9570. Let's go to Rhea in Lancaster. You know it's football season. You know, I know it's a down household right now with your husband being a Cowboy fan, but he has nothing to talk about right now, Rhea.
Oh, it was bad yesterday. We were at the sports bar. He was ready to leave like way before his game was even over. I was like, no, I'm still competitive right now. We're not going anywhere.
What you got, man? Break down the game for us.
Good morning. Let me start by saying, thanks to heavens, we have Fred Warner. This man, I feel like we don't even pay him enough. And he better be a Niner for life. I don't want him going anywhere because his heart, everybody needs to have a little bit of what he has inside to want to get these wins, handled. But I also wanted to say, Kyle Shanahan, I recognize him trying to change a little bit, going for it on 4th and goal, but why are you passing on 4th and goal? Why aren't you running the ball? I was like, what is that, Kyle? And do you not have a fourth quarter hurry-up offense scheme on that laminated sheet of yours? Like, we need to hurry up. What are you doing? No huddles. This is wasting time, these huddles. Let's go. We need to get the ball back. Even if we score, we're still down. Why are you wasting time with huddles? But I'm not going to panic. I'm going to be at SoFi on Sunday. I'm going to cheer for a get right. Let's get back. Let's get a winning streak going again. I just hope we can overcome this loss. This was bad.
Can they overcome the loss of Christian McCaffrey long term?
I think they can. He just has to be different. He has to spread it around more. I don't know. He has to just be more creative. I
respect that. Good to hear from you, dear.
She made a point about Fred Warner. It's going to get lost in this game. You were referencing it in our group thread. I mean, he made 2 legendary plays.
He's the best defensive player in football. He may be one of the best players in football, and there's no doubt in my mind that he's the most important defensive player on the San Francisco 49ers. God forbid anything happens to him. Because they were on the interception play. Remember before the play pre-snap, they're scrambling around. Doubt. He's like telling people to line up right. And Fred makes this unbelievable play with the outstretched arms. Now the safety may pick it off afterwards, but Fred grabbing that ball, saving the game. They were about to be down 17-0. And then the fumble with Aaron Jones, I was ready to check out. At that play, I was like, this game's cooked. And Fred Warner comes up with that play, I'm like, oh my gosh, these guys may really steal this game.
His knack to punch the ball out is uncanny. He did it to Darnold on the sidelines too, where Darnold was scrambling. He made a great play to stay in front of Aaron Jones on a toss play where it was just him and Aaron Jones. I'm ready to say it, and I know people are like, oh no, like right now, at minimum, he's equivalent to Patrick Willis. To me, they're equivalent, right? For their eras. This is the gold standard linebacker for his era. Pat was the gold standard linebacker for his era. They're equivalents. They're peers. They're not, one is not higher than the other. It's okay to say it. The other thing that I want to say about the clock management thing, Shanahan, and Purdy too. I'm granting Purdy a little leniency because he's only in his 3rd year. He's a young player. Brady and Belichick sat down about a decade ago, and they were going over all of these specific spots in the game. And Brady and Belichick determined that if it takes you about 15 to 35 seconds to complete a pass over the middle of the field, okay, and get everybody to run up, depending on how deep those routes are run, and run another play. On 2nd down, a slant that doesn't get you a first down or a big chunk is a waste of a play because you're fighting the clock. You have to throw that ball into the ground. And on multiple occasions, they got into a situation where they were ready to kick a field goal or could have kicked a field goal or ran up and spiked the ball. Instead, what they're doing is running pass plays to Saubert in the middle of the field, allowing the clock to tick, 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 tick. And to me, it's equally on Shanahan. I take a little off of Purdy because he's still a young player.
It's both, though.
But they both got to know, guys, they're giving you the Saubert play over the middle because clock is their friend.
In hindsight, look, in real time, I agree with Shanahan being aggressive. I want to go back to the 4th down play at the goal line. So I heard Purdy after the game, he say, our scheme, it allows that free rusher. Well, every time they run a 5 wide, I get flashbacks to the Super Bowl. PTSD when Trent McDuffie's blitzing there, and he's a free rusher, and he gets a PBU, a pass breakup. Well, Van Ginkel yesterday gets the pass breakup, and he's coming in as a free rusher. So the scheme that you're employing here in the 5-wide sets or the 4-wide sets, you're allowing a free rusher. We got to fix that because at the goal line, look, I'm okay with the decision. But those 3 points loomed large at the end of the game. Those are hitting points. The 3 points that you didn't get there and the 3 points that you gave up before halftime, look, you kicked the field goal. All of a sudden, Minnesota's setting up at the 20-yard line. There's no 97-yard touchdown, right? I mean, it's crazy. In real time, I appreciate the aggressiveness. I did. I was like, wow, okay, Shanahan's going for it. I really didn't have any big issue with it because you were pinning them back deep. But think about that. You don't get that. You give up the 3 points.
No doubt.
And then at the end of the half, you give up a 3rd and 13 to Justin Jefferson, and boom, situational football was just not played yesterday. So all aspects, clock management, situational football, getting off the field on 3rd down, when to go for it, when not to go for it. They just got out-coached. They got out-hit. That was the other thing. We're not talking about it enough. The Minnesota Vikings beat down the 49ers. They battered them. They're the more physical team and a team that prides itself on being physical. They punked the Niners yesterday and bullied them.
There was one guy on both sides of the ball that did not back down, Fred Warner being one. Jordan Mason didn't back down either. I thought Jordan Mason had a hell of a game.
Jordan Mason had a hell of a game.
Second half, he did get bottled up. There's no doubt, and it became more of a passing game. B, he had a play, a couple of jump cuts that were ridiculous. One where he jumped through a tackle and then
he's great.
Shook. Jordan Mason does it. I'm telling you, look, he needed to come out of that game with 25 touches. I know he got the 20 rushes. I thought that they should have ran the ball down at the goal line a couple more times. That's personally we can argue about pass versus run and whatever. Throwing to Jawan Jennings on 4th down. I know Jawan's a clutch player for this team. You do have Kittle, in the red zone. Would love to see Kittle get ISO'd in the red zone. I know he did have the red zone touchdown on the screen pass. I just
thought they got bullied.